Hello and thank you for joining me on my colouring quest. So today, the day has finally come where I can proudly say that I have completed a colouring book. I don't know if you can hear the excitement, but I never thought this day was ever gonna come, that I would actually have a colouring book on my shelf with all the pages coloured. I am really happy. I'm proud of myself. It is this Spooklettes Sketchbook by Karla Magana, and yeah, I'm just so happy. So I'm going to now do a flip through, and yeah, I'm just so happy. So I didn't count these pages, but then it starts here, and this is one of the first pages I ever coloured in here. I think it was either the second or the third page that I actually coloured. I hadn't really figured out how I like to colour them yet, but yeah, I think I was slowly getting there. Throughout this book, I will just say I pretty much think I've used an alcohol marker base on every page. Maybe for some parts I haven't, but if you just take a look at the back of the pages, you'll be able to see alcohol marker everywhere. And I do still have tabs in here because they are the pages that I have to show in my completed pages for the month of October. So they're still there for now. I'll forget which ones I've done, and I think I've done 7. 7 in 1 month. I'm on a roll. Yep. But basically, once I had only got 3 left to colour, I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can finish this month. And then I just sort of powered through them. So next I have this one. On a lot of these pages I have used the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter or some form of stickles, because some pages I feel like you have to add a bit of sparkle. So I added it on the background, and also you'll notice on a few pages I've sort of picked blue or pink and used various tones of the same colour just for the page, because some of them, it just made it easier and it was fun. So this one's sort of like an icy blue sort of theme, and I like that one. Next I have this one, and I will also say my alcohol markers that I was using throughout this were mostly the shuttle art markers. At the time, didn't know that they're yellow. Some of the browns and oranges, yellow. And luckily for this one, I'd already coloured it, so you can't see it through there, and it hasn't come through to be able to be visible. But on the next page, I was not so fortunate. I had already coloured this, but I had coloured her hair white. So it is very, very, very visible that the orange is there, but I thought, no, I'm not touching it. And you can tell in the purple as well. Even that's on top of Mod Podge Extreme Glitter, and you can still see that it's got the yellow. Yeah, so I'm basically considering not using those alcohol markers anymore, but or just getting rid of the orangey, yellowy brown tones and just using up the rest. Because no problem with any of the other colours, it's just, yeah. I still like that, because this was a page where I let the dice, I rolled a dice and let it decide what colours I was using. And this is the outcome. So it was purple background, white hair, brown skin, you know. And I think that I got pretty lucky with that one. But yeah, the pencils throughout this book that I pretty much use are either the Castle Art, the original Castle Art pencils, or the Castle Art Golds. There is the odd page where I have used Brute Fooners, the square ones, and my black and white is almost always a Faber-Castell Polychromos. This was one of the earlier ones. I actually took this book on holiday with me, so some of them were coloured there. That's what sort of got me started on a roll in this book. This one is quite possibly my favourite that I coloured in the book. I do have a few favourites, but this one is definitely up there. Like, I don't know, I just like the colours I chose. I like the outcome of the skin. Like, it looks, I don't know, it just looks nice and I like it. So this next one is this way. This is one that I did on holiday when I went to Bulgaria. I could not get the word out then. It's like, but yeah, I like parts of it, but there are parts which I wish I'd done a bit differently on that one, but I'm okay with that. This one is one from this month that I've just coloured. Didn't know what to do with the background, so the Mod Podge came back out again. That's what happens, like when in doubt, just add glitter. It works. And I can always tell the ones that I've done more recently. I feel like I've got comfortable with colouring Karla Magana's pages. This one I love for like the simplicity of it. Like, it's simple but effective, and I like that I added the stickles onto her eyelids. This one here was an early one, but still remains as one of my favourite. It was my favourite page, like, for quite a while. But yeah, I love, like, the shading that I added on her body, especially, like, the collarbone area. And yeah, did I use... Yeah, I did use alcohol marker base. I couldn't remember. And I like the blue hair. The only thing I don't really like is how I coloured the gems on her face. I feel like they just had a bit too much Posca. I should have used like stickles instead, but I'm like, no, it's done. I'm not going back. But yeah, really love that one. And she looks like she's got a bit of an attitude. Sounded really weird when I said that, sorry. And this is the next one. This is also one from not that long ago. Some of these were just like heads and necks, and I've added like my own sort of clothes to them. And yeah, I like that. Look at how much stickles is in the background. You can see it is a bit patchy, but I did that on purpose because I didn't want to use up all my stickles. I thought, well, it's sparkly enough, and that's why I put the alcohol marker underneath it. But yeah, this here is the very first page I coloured in this book, and yeah, there are things I like about it and things I'm like, what was I doing? Like, this was the first and last time I used gel pens in here. I actually went over the gel pen with a metallic pen because it was looking awful. Yeah, and I did have to add this rectangle here. It wasn't originally there when I first coloured, but as you can see still at the side here, when I was doing the alcohol marker base, I was doing her hair and I realised, oh no, I haven't put a sheet of paper behind to protect this one. Luckily I was up here where I started with the hair, and it was just over here and didn't do anything to her. So I just added in, I used the same alcohol marker I think as I used on the hair, and just like made another square in the background. I don't even know what I was doing with the squares, to be honest. So adding another one wasn't going to make a difference. This page, yeah, it is what it is. I just think triangle. Yeah, and I went a bit crazy in the background, but I actually like the background. It's actually her face that I don't like. Like, I made it really patchy. I don't know, I think I pressed down too hard and then I couldn't change it, and then I just had to live with it. But it's okay, it's a page that was done. Now this one, again, is from this month. Yeah, I added the square behind because, again, this colour that I used on her hair yellowed the page, and yeah, it was very visible. So I was like, the only way I'm covering that is with some paint. So that was a Posca pen, just a black Posca pen, and I was making her dark themed anyway because it's October, Halloween is just around the corner. So yeah, and put stickles on the skull and on her eyelids. I just felt like she needed some sparkle after she was ruined with yellowing. This one, oh my gosh, this was pretty much a disaster. Like, whew, the first and last time I used any water medium on this paper. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the completed pages video when I explained about this, but I can't remember what it was that I used now, but it was a water medium, and I put it in the background, left it to dry, came back the next day, it was not dry yet, and I was like, what's going on? Because yeah, it should have dried overnight, right? And then I was like, okay, I'll get a hairdryer on it, dry it up, and I was like, okay, that should be dry now. Left it, came back like an hour later, and it still felt wet. And I was like, really, what is going on with this paper? It should definitely be dry. I've used a hairdryer on it and everything. And by this time, it had been like 2 days. And then I was going to my brother's to look after the cats, and their house is quite warm. And because I was trying to complete this book, I took it with me, and it finally dried there. Oh my gosh, I thought it was never going to dry, but like I can feel the paper now, and it's not even crinkled, like it's not warped or anything, but I feel like the paper has lost some of its thickness. It, like this end here, and then it feels a bit more fragile. Luckily it's not wet anymore, but yeah, really, I like how it looks, like the effect in the background, but I was never using that on this book again. Like never ever. And I don't think I will on any Amazon paper. But yeah. Yeah, that is just, it's done, it's dry. Thank goodness. So this next one is another triangle hair, and I think this was the first triangle hair that I coloured, and I realised, yeah, I don't think I should have done it a light colour, which is why every other triangle hair in this book is either like black or brown. I think it's like, I think it's because of the lines that are already added. I feel like they should be like dark areas, and because you can still see those lines, it just looks a little bit strange to me. But I like her skin and everything else, and I like this little trail of stickles that I added. So random, but I like it. Next we have a more recent one, which I like how this one turned out. I always saw her as being like bubbly and vibrant, but I don't think I was sure whether I wanted her to be bright pink or bright blue, but I went with the pink in the end. Yeah, definitely a pink girly. Now this page, when I saw it uncoloured, I did not like it. I was like, how am I going to colour that? But as I was colouring through this book, I actually picked random pages to colour each month. See down here, if I show you, I have numbered each page. So I was basically picking randomly between how many pages there are, and just saying, oh, okay, I'll do 2, 11 and 29 this month. And then I would look at them and I'd be like, okay, I've got to colour that. Because I knew that if I picked out the ones that I liked, then I'd be left with all the ones that sort of scared me, or yeah, that I wasn't sure on. But I actually like how this turned out. I love the colours, like the contrast of the yellow with her skin and the hair. And this, I think, was the first time I went around the schools fully with like the Posca, and I liked it. So yeah, I think it was the eyelashes I wasn't sure on. Like, they're very intimidating when you see it when it's not coloured. Next we have another one of those pages where I just picked a colour and went with it. So this was red. I like that one. It's simple but effective. This was one that I coloured on the aeroplane when I was going on holiday. So not the neatest because while you're on an aeroplane it's a little bit more cramped than you're used to when colouring at home. But I like it. I like her hair. Next we have another one that I wasn't going to colour right away. But again, when I put the alcohol marker base for this one down before I went on holiday, I forgot my sheet of paper once again. Like, this happened a lot with this book. And so I literally, right after that one, coloured this one because I was like, yeah, I can't leave that as a mess. I've got to do it now, fix it. And I quite like her. It was mostly visible on this area of the skin. You can still see a little bit here and there, but it's, unless you are looking for it, I don't normally see it. So yeah, that's why she's so dark and the background is dark purple, just to help cover up some things. Next we have this one. Again, you can see a bit of yellow in here from the colour I used on the previous girl's top, but like, I was like, no, that can just stay. This one here, I didn't mean to, but it reminds me of Brave from, well, Disney's Brave, Merida. And yeah, I just think she's fun. Next we have this girl, and I drew her, I thought her hair looked like a heart, like, so I drew in a heart shape. I don't know, that's what I saw, so that's what I did. And I like that one as well. That one, I find these pages in this book so simple but challenging at the same time. Like, you can just do whatever you want. You can test things or anything. This one again is from this month. I always thought she looked like a vampire, so I actually did save this one for this month. Like, I just knew what page number it was, so I never, like, if I picked it randomly, I would just say, nope, I'll pick another number, because I wanted that for this month. But I don't actually think I ever picked it. I might have once, but yeah, I do like her. I do. Next is a fun and vibrant one. I actually do love this one as well. This goes against everything I normally colour. Like, I don't normally go for the neon greens and yellows and stuff. But for her it works. That's what I mean. With this, like, Karla Magana book, I think any Karla Magana book, they just work. Just add whatever you want, and I think it'll work. And it's got stickles on the earrings. I love seeing them sparkle. Next we have one from this month again. I thought she looked quite Halloweeny as well, so I was actually happy she got left till now. Like, yeah, I don't know, it looks like she could be in some sort of costume, but you just can't see it. And yeah, I thought she was very fun to colour, she was. And I just randomly doing the Posca pen throughout her hair. Lots of Posca pen on there though. Okay, next we have another one. This is like the blue aqua sort of page. Lots of Mod Podge glitter on there again. Like I said, if I can't think of what to do for the background, I just put a colour on it and added the Mod Podge Extreme glitter. Simple. This one is my green lady. I actually love her as well. And I don't know what made me do it, but I put green stickles all over, like, the line, a lot of the lines in the hair. I only left a few because I thought this is getting a bit much. But yeah, I do love her as well. Like, simplicity but effective. Next I have a more recent one again. I do think it's been a couple of months, so I can't remember exactly when I coloured this one. but I love her. I call her like my alien girl in here, because she definitely looks like she's come from another planet. Like, this is her space uniform. And then I have this one. I think she definitely looks like she probably lives like in France somewhere, like a Paris lady or something. A bit, I don't know, it's just the vibes I get from her. And I have stickles on the back. What's that? Yeah, I can tell by the texture. The Mod Podge feels more smooth, whereas this you can feel every grain of glitter. I love it. Next we have one that was also like one of my favourites for a while. I still love it, but I say that about every page, so yeah. And again, I have stickles on the background there on top of the yellow marker. Pretty much like a candy floss hairstyle going on. I do love doing those. Next we have like a pastel purple lady. She was an early one as well. I can't remember if this was the one or the green one that I did, which was the first one that made me start doing one sort of colour for a page. I'm not sure, but I found it fun. Now this one was another one where I was like, I don't like that page. And then the number came out and I was like, how am I going to colour this? I really had no idea. And then I was like, well, the triangle hair. So this is one, like I said, I started doing those in darker colours to cover up the black lines that were already within it. And then I thought, well, she'd look nice with a darker skin. And then I was like, well, what can make her pop? And I was like, yellow. So I used the marker in the background and then put like a ton of stickles on top. And now I think she looks amazing. She's like a golden lady. Like, looks so beautiful. And yeah, I don't think I could have done that page better if I tried. This one, I love it as well. Yes, I'm saying that about a lot of pages. I apologise, but I am like actually proud of myself for completing this book. So I drew this circle in and I coloured her in first, and I was like, wow, that is really orange hair. That would look so good with a green in the background. And then obviously I put my Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on. And yeah, I do think like she is very, like if you met her on the street, she's very fun, she's very quirky, she's a little bit crazy, but she'll be your friend for life type of person. Yeah, like a good egg. Next we have a more recent one again, and this was my Lady in Black, and I thought, well, got to have a pop of colour somewhere, so her lips I thought would be good in red. And yeah, she was very quick. And again, I do have some Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on this. I sort of envisioned her wearing a skin tight long sort of velvety dress with like a fluffy collar. Like, yeah, I have it pictured in my mind. I couldn't draw it because there's no page there, but yeah, I feel like she's very elegant and sophisticated and yeah, well liked person. Next we have this page. I do really like how this one turned out, and I imagine these two at the same party, but they've got completely opposite personalities. Like, she is a bit stuck up, thinks she's fancy, but like she's got money but nothing else. Like, yeah, she wants to be the centre of attention, and yeah, that's what I get from her anyway. You know, like the evil stepsisters and Cinderella type of vibe. They think they have everything, but nobody really likes them. They're just there. But yeah. But she looks like she could turn her life around, like if she met the right person. I don't know about you, but I do get like little stories in my head when I'm colouring some pages. Now this was a very early one that I coloured as well, sort of again that candy floss hair. I do really like that one. I like the hair colour with the skin colour. I think everything sort of went okay with that one. Next we have a more recent one. Now that one was an experiment. If you've seen the completed pages, I mentioned how I had this colour on the whole of the background and it just looked patchy and a bit messy and a bit boring, and then I was like, well, what can I do to it? So I got my black Posca out. I think it was Posca, yeah, I think so, and just made it look like there was lights in the background. I drew in, because again this was just a sort of neck shoulder situation, so I made it look like she was wearing a dress, and I believe she was wearing like one of those flowy sparkly dresses. So yeah. Next up, this is one from this month. Absolutely love how this one turned out. She's like my pastel Batgirl. She reminds me a bit of is it, I can't remember if it's the Bratz or the Monster High dolls that you can get. I think it's Monster High because of like the monster vibes. But yeah. And this was actually an accident, having the pink and the white lines in her hair. What it was just I used a white Posca over the black lines because I wanted her hair to have that pastel-y effect. But some of it activated with the purple pencil I used and some of it didn't. And I actually love how it looks. Now it looks like I've used two different colour Posca pens, one sort of pastel pink and a white. I don't know if you can see from there, but yeah, you can see it in, some of it stayed white and some of it turned pink. But yeah, I'm actually okay with that. And yeah, she actually became one of my favourites after I finished her. Next I have this one. She's like Space Explorer, very bubbly, just simple one that was. I think that was just alcohol marker, pencil and then white Posca, although I can say that for most of these pages. Now this one here, love it. This is the last page I coloured in here, so literally finished it today. Like, kept her simple, didn't want to feel like I had to do anything too fancy because it was the last page. I just wanted to make her look nice. And yeah, I added extra hair to her because I didn't know what to do with it, because it was one of those pages where the sketch lines ended, but it felt like it didn't need to end like where it was, so drew in a little bit. I didn't want to go up because else that would be a lot of hair to do, but I thought this shape was quite fun, so I kept it like that and just focused on the down below. And I do like her. I tell you what, with this book I have practiced so many times how to do dark skin tones. I've sort of just went for it, and it's made me a lot more confident in using like different colours for skin, which I recommend to anybody that's not like confident with darker skin tones. Like, get a Karla Magana book, you won't regret it. Like, so much fun. And I am now more confident in using these pencils on other pages. Like, I didn't have a set amount of colours or set colours of certain pencils or anything like that, but the fun of colouring these made me not care if I didn't get it right, but for some reason when I just went for it, they turn out okay. Like if I felt like I was messing up, I would add in another colour, and then it would miraculously at least look human. Yeah, and so yeah, I really enjoyed this book so much. This was another early one that I did on my holiday. Like, she had holiday feelings to her, which at this point I wasn't picking my pages randomly. I was actually going and picking what I wanted to do, and she felt like I needed to colour her on holiday, so I did. And yeah, she's definitely summery feelings. And then we have the last page in this book, which I coloured this month. And yeah, she's sort of like edgy, a bit gothic, but like friendly type of thing. Fashionable. That's what I get from her anyway. But I know nothing about fashion, like zero. I just wear whatever I want to wear. So yeah, I am really happy. I haven't done any sketches or anything in here. That wasn't really what I got this book for. But yeah, it is nice that she adds those few pages at the back, because you could always use them to test the paper and stuff. I should have done that before using that water medium. I now look back and think I should have done that. Anyway, so I have a completed book. Does anybody else have any books that they've completed? Or are you still on your quest to finish one? Because this was like a side quest for me. Like, my everyday colouring quest is to have fun colouring and just do what I want on my colouring pages. And then side quest, do some pages in this each month. That's what it was. And yeah, I was like, finally, the day has come. Completed book. And yeah, I will actually miss colouring in this book as well. That is why I do have a couple more Karla Magana books on my shelf ready to be coloured in, but I don't think I'll be planning to finish one of those anytime soon. But I do think I want to pick another book to maybe focus on a bit more, but maybe one that's I don't know, a bit like it. I know I won't complete it in a year type of thing, but I want to have it there in my focus, so maybe in 2 or 3 years it might be done. But I haven't chosen a book yet. If you have seen any books that I have shown and think, oh, I want to see you complete this one or that one, feel free to put any suggestions. I can't guarantee that I will pick any of them, but they might like make me think, oh yeah, that would be a nice book to complete. So yeah. Whew. I'm just really happy. You can probably tell I'm a bit more perky and chatty and happy. I don't know how I normally sound, but I feel like it within myself that I'm really happy. So yeah, until the next video, which will probably be completed pages of the month, where you will see some of these again, I shall see you then. Take care, happy colouring, bye!